Afternoon. Welcome everyone to Get the Health Out. My name is Michael Tharp. We are on episode 4 now, Candy. Welcome in. How was your spring break?
Oh, spring break is always a blessing. I don't know where people are watching from, but it snowed in Michigan, so you make the
Of
best of
course.
it. We're used to it, right? Overcoming obstacles. It,
Exactly.
it was
And
great.
and and focusing on your mindset even when things are bad.
Yeah, it might be raining outside, but it's all about what you make it on the inside, right?
Exactly. I loved it the other day. My son came out, or actually it was this morning, and he's like, "I love the rain." Just learning to embrace it.
Yeah, the
So,
kids say the darndest things. I there's a young boy, I won't give any names, but he just wakes up every day and is so surprised. He'll say to his parents, I've never had this day before. So I think if you can wake up and have that attitude, no matter where you spent your spring break, it's pretty good.
yeah, and that's obviously, we're going to talk about mindset a lot. And so today's title is Contending for Your Health. Another way to phrase it might be like fighting for your health. And we're going to, in general, people like to make excuses. Doesn't matter, money, finances, relationships. And I talk about that a lot. But when it comes to health, there are serious and legitimate, health concerns that people have to struggle and to get through. So maybe just start with what are some of the medical conditions that people have that they tend to use as an excuse to not get healthy and lose weight.
Sure. I'll talk about some of the things that I encounter pretty often as a health coach. I'll start with a really simple one, food addiction. People don't think of that as a condition, but food addiction it's real. It's something when we I heard you say, Mike, excuses are made. Some people don't consider that they might be a candidate for better health. And so they face things like food addiction or diabetes, hypothyroidism, high blood pressure. Gosh, there's a whole list, gout. I'm a nursing mom. Can I really do something to contend with my health? So it isn't just something that you're facing medically. It absolutely can be some things that you just hold here, you know and so you have to contend with those things every day. And sometimes I think you take yourself right off of the market in your mind because you think, well, there's no way that could be for me. That's just for other people.
And we've kind of covered this before, um, but what is it that allows this program to be so successful with people who are already struggling? It's hard enough for people to lose weight and get healthy,
Yeah.
even if they're in relatively decent condition. But when people are struggling with these other ailments, what is it about the program and that you can do and to help them with that separates it from, most of the other things we see going on today?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, there it isn't a one size fits all. So it's a program that was developed by a physician, and so it is science based. This isn't something that someone just dreamed up and started. I can tell you that probably the most significant difference is that most people will go into looking at tackling their health. And there's a lot of people, I'm sure, that are listening today that have thought, this is just another, right? This is just another one of those. Well, I'll tell you, it is a tool to help learn some healthy habits. But number one, you're paired with a health coach, somebody that who has experience in helping others who come to the table contending with some of that health. They also have experience with others who have brought those to the table and gotten through it. So I think when you're faced with some of those health challenges, just knowing that you're going to be paired with a health coach is number one, but also considering that there is a program that will meet your needs if you can work closely with your health coach.
So let's take some. I just want to see the results here because
Yeah.
we can tell these people everything and promise everything like everyone else does, but let's look at some actual results here. And I always like to start off with the picture first, and then have you tell the
Absolutely.
story. So go ahead and I'll kind of move around. But if you just want to kind of introduce, the struggles that she faced and the success that she's had.
For sure. This is one of our friends, Tucker. And for what I want you to notice here first is that nobody comes to health at, we don't just help 45-year-olds, right? And we don't just help women. This is a young girl. I think you can see that she hasn't lived a lot of life. She probably hasn't tried all the programs, right? But I think the picture speaks volumes. She came to the table with a poor self-image and maybe probably thinking, gosh, I don't know if this will work for me. So she brought a lot of fear to the table, but she brought some health conditions to the table too, pre-diabetic. And that can be a scary thing at such a young age. What I want someone to know, if you're listening today, we have a teen program. And so this young lady, Tucker, tried that program, and you can see from looking at it, it didn't take her years to get here. All it took was a decision. And so I think you can read those stats right there. She started at a size 20. Look how many sizes that she lost, from a 20 to a 14 and from a 2X to a large. When you have a significant amount of weight that you carry around, when you fight obesity, blood pressure can certainly play into that. And I think anytime you can take some pressure off your joints and get yourself to a healthy BMI, it certainly has the likelihood of impacting your blood pressure. Of course, no promises about that ever, right? Everyone is individual, but gosh, I think that picture just tells a big story.
Yeah, and I think what she said. It's good to see Emily Manuel out from Hawaii chiming in, and I'll get with Emily later, and maybe you can talk to her about some information for her daughter. And that's really what we're focusing on, guys, today. Is no matter what, we're going to give you more examples. No matter your age, sex, health condition, there is still hope. And I love what Tucker said there. I thought I was a lost cause, and there was no hope left for me. I think that's where a lot of people are at, whether they've tried on their own or they've tried other programs and they just didn't see it work and have the success. And that's why, if you've watched, what we've talked about before, it's about having that one-on-one accountability. It's about having the community. It's about having the right program that was designed scientifically by a doctor, and to get rid of all these excuses, right? Fight for your health. The time is now to do that.
Mike, I want to add here, for anybody that's looking at Tucker's beautiful picture, I want to add that there's things that you don't see in that photo, but you and I both know from working in a secondary educational setting, you and I both know that that she is likely carrying around things that you can't measure with a picture.
Right.
And so just looking at what she's done for her body physically doesn't even begin to touch the surface of what she did for herself on the inside. So just something I like people to look at the picture for the value on the outside, but know that there is a huge gain on the inside there.
Yeah, and I think when we talked to Amy in our first episode, she really spoke to that, about just how, for 20, 30 years, she was just depressed and, didn't want to wear a bathing suit or go out in public that much because of, what her body issues had done to her mentally.
Yeah.
So let's keep going up, right? Okay. So we have, a younger woman who has had success here. Now let's look at a nursing mom. So what are some of the struggles that Caitlin had to go through? Obviously, I don't know at all what it's like to have a child. So, what are the struggles that a mom who just gave birth might have to face if she's trying to lose weight?
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know if there's any moms out here today, but your body just takes a huge physical transformation, not to mention the transformation that goes on the inside as you become a mother. And whether we like it or not, our bodies will change. We're still who we are, but our bodies are going to change. And when we consistently look in the mirror and we can only focus or identify on the things that we see that are different, it can really take us in a different place. And Mike, I know you've never been a nursing mom, but you are a parent, and you can probably think back to just absolutely how exhausting and life changing that can be.
Oh yeah.
So when you put that together, when you're trying to get healthy after you've had this big physical change, there's a wonderful thing. There's a nursing mom program. It's going to help you eat healthy, number one, because you are feeding your child, right? And that's important to stay on top of that. But it's okay to also take care of yourself in the process. It's like a win-win. So, gosh, I look at Caitlin here, and what I want you to notice is it didn't take her years to get here. So if you look at what she accomplished from May to August, right? And I'm chuckling a little bit. She did this during COVID,
Yeah.
and look at that. She probably didn't go to a gym, but what she learned was some healthy habits with that coach that she was working with. And gosh, from May to August, what a difference. And if you look from year to year, she maintained, and I might, just look at that picture and say, gosh, I think she even toned up a little bit. So it wasn't something that took her a long time, but she definitely didn't take herself out of the running for health because she was a new mom. So I still go back to that. It's easy for us to, a lot of people throw the word excuse around. Well, I can tell you that sometimes excuses keep us safe, right? Because of the fear that we're afraid to step into and fail. But excuses just assure that you're the same as you were yesterday. So take that barrier of I'm a nursing mom and I couldn't possibly try something new, and just open your mind to the fact that you could.
Right. Is there anything you wanted to add with her story? Did you kind of overcome that?
I think what a very important thing that she's pointing out is that she worked with a health coach. So she started out on one program, and as she consistently made some progress, she changed things up. She learned how to transition. This was in a program that, you're not a nursing mom forever. So she worked with her health coach to learn how to transition from one program to a next to learn those healthy habits that stay.
And did she just have another baby?
Yeah, she had gone from she had one, and then she had had another, and so you know she's experienced the whole circle of health.
Okay. So now I would imagine she's very confident that, with the, as she put on weight with this other baby, that she knows I already have a plan. I've already done this once, and it's just, let's go.
Absolutely.
Whereas if she hadn't gone through this, she would have that thing of again, oh, I'm just going to be bigger now after this kid. There's no hope. And it's, that's what we're trying to tell you guys is don't wait to get healthy. Start putting yourself and your health first right now.
Absolutely.
And then let's go to the other extreme. Let's talk about Sylvia here. So we've gotten the young woman, the middle-aged mom with a baby, and now we have here, the older woman who is thriving, it looks like. So tell me about Sylvia.
Absolutely. Sylvia's just a rock star here. Sylvia is 67 years old in this photo, and she looks like she's got a lot of life to live. Now, Sylvia came to the table, I believe she was struggling with some hypothyroidism, which is a real condition. It really can make you feel like I'm just not a candidate for getting healthy, or gosh, I'm 67. Is there really time for me to do something like this? Heck yeah, there is.
Right.
Sylvia isn't a nursing mom, right? But I know that Sylvia has grandkids, and she likes to spend her time with her grandkids. And gosh, her mobility improved. She's still got a great smile in both pictures, but I'm going to tell you, she has really found herself. She found a lot of energy. It changed her mindset. she's not distracted by the fact that she's 67 years old or by her limitations of her body anymore.
And just the bottom here, I'm no longer distracted by a body that was to me awkward and ungainly. If you have experienced this, you know what I mean. If you have not, it may sound crazy to you, but I'm just so thankful it happened. I'm almost 67 years old, but I feel like I'm beginning a brand new life. Happy, healthy, and no longer heavy.
That's right. That's 48 pounds there in that picture there. And I'm just to hear the way that she described herself, how long did she carry that around?
Right.
I'm guessing she doesn't describe herself that way anymore.
And so we want to make sure we get all sexes here. So we have Scott here, who just that side view is a huge change. I mean, even just the face, it almost looks like a totally different person, really.
Absolutely. I can tell you, and Michael, you're right. We could put up 1,000 of these, right? I mean, easily thousands of these. But Scott here, I mean, gosh, I know that this isn't a fountain of youth, but what do you think?
Oh yeah, I mean, I can say this, no homo. It's a good-looking guy on the right here. Like he looks fit, happy, and healthy.
That's right. And Scott brought some health challenges to the table when he started too. And as he learned those healthy habits with his health coach, he just learned how to maintain that. He learned how to get himself here, and boy, he's feeling great and he looks great. I guess the point of talking about this, and again, you said that, you can look at Tucker, young gal. We could look at Sylvia, who's 67. We can look at Scott, and I'm somewhere in between there, and we can look at nursing moms, but all four of those brought something to the table that they were contending with. And so, and what we look at here is that, Scott had been told for a really long time that he was a candidate for, heart disease. That's right. And so, that's a pretty scary thing. And sometimes, even being told that by your doctor, you can think, gosh, I couldn't possibly try anything new. Right. But I think Scott took it in the other direction, and he decided, why wouldn't I at this point then try something new?
And I think, he says in here, what a lot of people try to do, me thinking I knew better. I just tried to do it on my own thing by cutting calories, cutting back soft drinks, etc.
Yep.
And then he had to surrender his way of thinking.
Yes.
And I think, that's so many people run into that, where they just think, well, like, I can do this by myself. I don't need any help. I don't need to pay extra money for some sort of program. But I mean, the facts are pretty, on our side here, that if you're just trying something by yourself, if you don't have a coach, if you don't have a program, if you don't have a, food that's been designed specifically by, a doctor backed by scientific, studies, you're going to struggle and most likely give up.
Yeah, it's kind of, where did I read? I probably was over break while it was raining, as I was spending some time just doing a little bit of self-care. But why reinvent the wheel? And I looked up the definition of like reinventing the wheel. If we know that this works, there is Sandy. I mean, if you know that it works and it's been successfully proven, why wouldn't you?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, like we talked about before, I think it really is fear. And I deal with this in all of my businesses. It's fear. It's people love to keep things the same. They love, what do I say? Comfort, right?
Yeah.
Your comfort is killing you. It's much more comfortable to make excuses. It's much more comfortable to stay where you're at, even though you're, probably experiencing health issues. But it's just for people to do something different. They just struggle. But the big thing is, if you're going to want different results, you're going to have to do something different.
Exactly. Gosh,
is there anything you want to talk about Sandy? Did she have some sort of health issue as well?
Well, let's check out Sandy's story here because she doesn't say a whole lot, but here's a health issue that we contend with a lot of clients. Pre-diabetic, right? That really got her attention. High blood pressure and active thyroid. And let's talk about this. Arthritis and acid reflux, right? Those are something I think that a lot of people deal with. Now, Sandy could have approached this going into it saying, got I don't just have one health barrier. I've
Right.
got a handful, right? This isn't going to work for me. I think it's that mindset. Don't let all of those excuses. Don't think that there isn't a program that can help you.
Right.
It definitely can't help you if you don't try, right? And so, I mean, Sandy loses 50 pounds here. Um, I can tell you that her quote, I feel good in my own skin. Heck yeah, she does. Look at that.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and many of my friends here that we're talking about, you know, they do stay in close. They work with they work with their physician. They work with their health coach. It isn't just I'm just going to do this and I'm going to stop doing this. It is a team effort, and that really is, goes back to that what I always say, that like-minded community. You just have to get yourself there.
So if this, if you guys found any, interest in
Mhm.
this, if you've been, struggling, if you have health issues, if you want to lose more weight, and again, guys, we've shown you extreme cases today,
Yeah.
and I never thought Candy was overweight or thick at all. But she lost 20 pounds, and I never would have been like, Candy, you need to go on a diet. Come on.
Yeah, well, don't shortcut me. I lost 21, and
Oh,
I,
21, my
I
bad.
like to just point that out. But Mike, you're right. I didn't. No one pegged me for having to lose that weight, and let's bring that to the table too, because there's a stigma attached to that. Um, Skinny girls that want to get skinnier, right? Well, let's think about it. It wasn't about getting skinnier. It was about getting healthy from the inside out. So, whether you bring some significant health challenges, extreme health challenges, or you bring um, that contender of food addiction, or caring about what other people think about what you might do about your health, whatever it is, I would invite anybody here to take a chance and let that go. Let that go. And now is a great time to do it. March is the month where people are revisiting all of those New Year's resolutions that aren't panning out. And they've tried it on their own. I mean, you read that. I think Scott said that. I tried everything on my own until I found this program. It didn't work for me. So I would invite anybody out there revisiting their New Year's resolution. You reach out to Mike and I. There is an extreme promotion going on right now, and it ends next week. And so there is no better time to jumpstart that resolution.
Yeah, it comes down to that, guys. Is you're gonna have to make the decision. It's April now, right? So April, May, from what everything I've seen, I mean, people see pretty good results even within 30 days.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to get ready for summer, you're gonna be going to the beach or on the boat. This is kind of the time to hit it hard. And like Candy said, there's a special promotion going for next week or so. So go ahead and text that number, and we'll get back to you guys and explain to you how it works and answer any questions that you have. But I think that's it. And to me,
Yeah.
this is just super encouraging to see so many people transforming their lives. And we're just gonna keep encouraging you guys to really, get the health out and fight for your health. Take a stand and decide no more am I going to live this way, or I'm going to live better. I'm going to live healthier for yourself, your family, and just, your quality of life essentially at this point. All right. Anything else, Candy, or are we good?
No, we're good. Same time, same place next week.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, everyone, for jumping on. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week. Everyone, have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you soon.